Just where exactly will Spider-Man show up next, and what supporting cast, if any, will accompany him is a major mystery for the future of the MCU. Recently, one actor from the franchise talked about a potential return and even playing characters in the multiverse, and he says he's not sure, but if the opportunity presents itself, why not? The Spider-Verse is always expanding. Recently, Flash Thompson himself, Flash Thompson from the MCU Spider-Man films, spoke to Comic Book about his future in the MCU and if he knows anything in regards to what is going on with multiple appearances, his next appearance, what's going on with Spider-Man, Sony, and all that. And he says that he's not entirely sure right now, but again, even if he could say anything, he legally can't. And he said that he's open to returning as Flash Thompson and exploring more of that character, especially with what the character goes through when it comes to the comics. Now again, in the comics, most of you I think know that Flash Thompson becomes Agent Venom. He also ends up losing his legs due to the war, and well, he ends up becoming a pretty awesome character that kind of has a big, I would say, revolutionary character development in terms of Flash Thompson, going from that, bully to Peter Parker and everything, to being somebody that's very humble and, just happy to be alive still and use these powers for good. And when that was brought up, he says he's willing to, but again, he doesn't know more. And then they talk a little bit more about the idea of the multiverse, especially exploring more of this Spider-Verse, because that's what the floodgates opened up to in Spider-Man No Way Home. And they bring up the fact that obviously he could play a Spider-Man of different ethnicity, and Spider-Man 2099 is specifically brought up along with Michael Morales. And he says the idea that he could do something like that, where he could play a completely different character just because the multiverse, is something that's very interesting to him, and he would love to explore something like that because of the opportunities and the ability to flex yourself as an actor. And he says it's one of these things where if you look at comic book films, you don't see many people that look like him specifically playing comic book roles. And he says that it would be crazy if he could play somebody like a Spider-Man in the multiverse, where then things can go in a completely different direction and opens up this whole other section of the universe and brings in a different fan base. Again, Miguel O'Hara, he's Latin. Like, you definitely understand what he's saying here. And I think that's honestly something worth exploring. It would be kind of insane if, let's say, we get to, like, I don't know, Secret Wars, or Sony does spin-offs based on the Spider-Verse, and we see Flash Thompson, but it's not Flash, it's Miguel. Or we see Flash Thompson as Agent Venom. I mean, it's cool. It's a great idea, and I would certainly love to. I think not doing Spider-Man 2099 in live action is still a wasted opportunity. And the further they get away from that comic, the harder it gets to sell. And I don't understand what's taking them so long, but hey, maybe someday.